today, which is the 11th of November, I believe. Actually, I released it on Monday the 10th of November, and I'll quickly show you the website just so that you can check it out. So it's of course my podcastingtutor.com. Now, this website is gonna it's I'll tell you right now, it's definitely gonna change. Um, because this is the page that I used to test my this is the page that I used for the test, and don't worry, I'm gonna get to how I did all this in of course in the future. It might actually be on this slide presentation or a bit in the future, but I'll get to it. So if you come down to mypodcastingtutor.com, you'll receive more information about that. The product is already out, so definitely check it out. Okay, so let's get to how I got to this place. Okay, so I was thinking of creating a podcasting course. So the first thing I did is I went and bought Perry Marshall's Definitive Guide to Google AdWords, which I highly, highly, highly recommend. And the basic version is pretty much all you need. Only get the audio version if you're an audio learner or one of those people who likes to learn on the go, and one of those people who likes listening to seminar footage. I mean, I'm that type of learner, so for me the audio stuff was great, but the basic version is more than enough to get you started. More than enough. It's extremely comprehensive. Okay, so my second test was I decided to try an opt-in page approach. Now Tim recommends two approaches. One is you create an actual sales page so that you see if people would actually buy, and then like when people go to click on order now, you have a message like we're out of stock, so come in future, and that way you can get to see how many people would actually buy based on the proposition. But instead, I chose to use the opt-in page approach, which is people come to that opt-in page, which you just saw. And I tell them, I'm creating a course. I tell them what the course is going to be about, and I tell them, if you're interested in it, sign up. And when you sign up, I'm going to give you, like in this case, it was top 10 tips to keep in mind if you want to have a popular podcast. So if you want those, put your name and your email address in there, and I'll definitely let you know once the course is up and ready for sale. So that's what I decided to do. Okay, let me just go to the previous slide. Okay, so this is what I did. I bought my domain name and I had, of course, the Displaced African is hosted on DreamHost, so I went to DreamHost, bought the domain, mypodcastingtutor.com, and I also bought mypodcasttutor.com, and I hosted them both on my DreamHost account. And what I did is I recorded an audio that plays automatically when people show up. I'll show it to you. I'm very sorry for all these changes, but I really want to make sure I show you everything so that you can actually see how it looks in the real world. So that's the audio player right there. So this is of course hosted with Amazon Simple Storage Service, and I just recorded a brief 2-minute message telling people welcome to my site, this is what I'm offering, and put in your first name and your email address into the boxes if you're interested. So I recorded an audio that plays automatically when people show up, and I hosted all of this um, with the Amazon Simple Storage Service, which is a great, great service. So I'll quickly show you Amazon Simple Storage Service. I think it's www.aws.am. Alright, now the best way to do it, just go to Google and type Amazon S3 because it's called Amazon Simple Storage Service, and of course that's S3. So aws.amazon.com. Oh, so I was on the right track. /S3. So let's copy and paste that, shall we? Okay. It did not want to be copied. So to check out Amazon Simple Storage Service, come to aws.amazon.com/S3. And just to put it in perspective for you, I've been using this service for a couple of months, and when there's no one really downloading what you have, I have like maybe 4 or 5 or 6 gigabytes of stuff on there, and I pay about maybe 10 cents a month, 10 cents, 50 cents a month. And once things really move up, like when you're getting like thousands and thousands of people hitting you, your server won't collapse, and you'll only end up paying like maybe $100 a month just to store all your videos, store all your audio stuff. So it's a great service that I am pretty much using for everything. So I recorded that audio, I hosted it with Amazon S3, and pretty much all I did is I used all the testimonials and media appearances from my pre-existing blog, which is the Displaced African, which is of course how you know about this video, from my podcast, from my social networks, from my forums. So if anyone said anything nice about me anywhere, I collected it and I put it on there. Even when people wrote me nice emails, I asked them, could I use this email? And as you will see, I took all of that. Uh, and I put all the media I'd been in right here. Like I've been in Australian newspaper, the Kenyan newspapers. I've been featured on the Blog Mastermind sales page. So I put all the stuff, and I put some testimonials for me. Um, and there's a picture of Derek Ashong, who I interviewed for my podcast. And I just put some great testimonials on there along the side. And that was just more for credibility. And that's pretty much how I created my sales page. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide, shall we? All right. Okay, so here's my first mistake with all of this. My first mistake was I had been using Rent-A-Coder for many months. And I had been, ever since I started blogging, I had been using Rent-A-Coder. And what I decided to do is I would try a site I had never used before, which was getafreelancer.com, to perform a task I had never done before, which is creating an opt-in page. So that was just crazy, because what happened is I got this contractor, an Indian contractor, and what happened is I was very much in a hurry. I really wanted to get everything done at that point. I was very much in a hurry, and on rentacoder.com there's an escrow system. So when you agree that someone is going to do a job for you, money enters into escrow, which is held by Rentacoder, and then as soon as the job is complete, Rentacoder releases the stuff. Now if there's any dispute between you and the contractor, you can actually mediate it through Rentacoder, and more often than not they will side. Like in my case, when anytime I've gone into arbitration, it's always ended up on my side, because I'm like for example, what happens is like a coder decides that they're not gonna do the job exactly as you described. They're gonna get creative with it, and so you go to the guys at Rent-A-Coder. You say, listen, I don't want this to end badly for any of us, but I cannot pay him for this job. I have spoken to him and told him I cannot pay him for this job. I do not want to keep any of the copyright, so please just don't charge any of us for this. Don't take out any points for this, but just say that the job was not completed and went through arbitration. And Rent-A-Coder actually does stuff like that. Now here's the thing, Get a Freelancer does not. Get a Freelancer is like a bus stop where contractors and the contractors meet with the people who are offering jobs, and that's it. Get a Freelancer does not mediate for you. You can put money into escrow, that's an option. So, I mean, Get a Freelancer does have escrow, but they don't have as much protections for the buyer as Rent-A-Coder does. But don't let me knock Get a Freelancer. Get a Freelancer has way more contractors. It's a fantastic service. I've had nothing but good times since this time. So Get a Freelancer is a great service. So I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying I understood Rent-A-Coder. And so what ended up happening was I ended up arguing with this guy. This guy held my website for ransom. He called me all sorts of foul names. I mean, if you want me to go into it, I can just ask me some questions in the comment section. But it was crazy. So of course I had to discontinue working with him, and I had to get a second contractor. So I actually spent to get that this opt-in page up. I actually ended up spending $287 instead of the 125 I originally intended on spending. Now you can actually get something like this done, to be honest with you, for $50. So, I mean, as you can see, I went above and beyond what I should have done. If I went to Rent-A-Coder and I was slick about it and I went to the right people, I could have gotten this done for $50. So, that was my first mistake, is not going where I had succeeded in the past, trying to be creative.